Skane was the one to approach Lotara. Skane the Destroyer. Skane the Ugly. Sergeant Skane, whose blood was so poisoned by his sacred weaponry that he might never know the immortality promised to the Legiones Astartes in their genetic heritage. Skane spoke the words that began everything. A single sentence that was notably less for the treachery it suggested, and more for the fact no one believed he could string that many words together anymore. What he said wasn't unprecedented. They were words everyone had already fought themselves, either in moments of fear when they were bathed in the sweat of survival, or in the increasingly rare moments of peace aboard a warship that seemed to want them dead. Skane spoke what was on so many minds, perhaps because he was so close to losing his own. He was ragged and twitching, and had to speak through scabbed lips that he couldn't stop biting. He'd lost control of his Betches gland some weeks before. Now his chin was raw, with a rash from a constant trickle of acidic drool. One of his eyes was gone, punctured in a duel a month back, somewhere in the bowels of the warship, where every chamber was an arena, drenched red in emergency lighting. Somehow, the wound hadn't healed. Red tears dripped from it, night and day. The blood just kept flowing, and so, with the freedom of the almost mad and the nearly dead, Skane was the one to come to the Conqueror's captain and speak the words that damned them all. He cornered her in one of the subsidiary spinal corridors, diverging from the main avenue along the Conqueror's back. She was on the way to her quarters when he caught her, massacred her bodyguards, and backed her against the wall. His remaining eye was bright with fever, his movements twitchy and feral. Every few moments, his face would contort with muscle tics, and he jerked his head towards a voice only he could hear. Skane served as a member of the World Eaters Legion during the Great Crusade and Horus Heresy. A destroyer sergeant of the 8th Company under command of Captain Khan, this brutal warrior, covered in blood bruises, endured countless hours of radiation poisoning, vented from the weapons he wielded. Refusing to lead his destroyer Carter, despite requiring an augmetic neck collar to help treat a cancer which infested his vocal cords. Only thanks to the toil of Apothecary Kargos was Skane supplied replacements which would once again endure similar punishment. Present aboard the World Eater's flagship, the Conqueror, during its voyage to the Siege of Terra, now harboring the presence of the blood god, Khorne, this Gloriana Voidcraft struggled to maintain supplies and necessary auxiliary staff. Many World Eaters losing their minds as the call of Karnef sent them into fits of bloodlust. Skane likewise suffered untold torment as his irradiated body languished within the bowels of Angron's chariot. Demanding shipmistress Latara Saren leave the Conqueror alongside him to prevent losing themselves to the thrall of chaos. A clandestine group of World Eaters of common cause assembled, knowing that should their intent be known, their insane kindred would see such as an act of mutiny. Saren securing 5 shuttles to aid the conspirators' flight to the nearby Voidcraft designated Bestiarius. Captain Maruk, Lotara, and Skane would remain on board the Conqueror until their kindred had escaped its confines. Yet as the coterie approached the shuttle bay, Captain Khan barred their path, declaring all traitors to the War Master's ideals and thus enemies of the Legion. Skane charging at his captain in order to enable Maruk and Sarin's escape despite knowing such an act to be suicidal. Once easily bludgeoned by Khan, the champion of Khorne raised his Primarch's chain axe, Gorechild, to deliver the killing blow. Yet Khan stayed his hand at the behest of Lotara, as she explained Skane's death was her responsibility to enact. A single las pistol round shot through his lone remaining eye with dispassionate surety. Each vessel which escaped the Conqueror destroyed by virtue of Lotara and Khan's planning. A simple phrase, "No one runs from the Conqueror," sealed the fate of Captain Maruk and his kin. The sacrifice made by Sergeant Skane, as apocryphal as his Legion's loyalty to the War Master's ill-fated betrayal of the Imperium.